Me, 27 male, and my wife, 27 female. Recently married. She is pregnant. I just found out the baby isn't mine. Okay, this is a big one. No idea where to begin. My hands are numb while typing this out. I feel like my world is crashing around me. I still can't believe this is happening. I've been this way for a while. My wife and I have known each other for about 5 years, together for about 3 or 4. She's from Eastern Europe originally, but came here as a student. She ended up not completing her course and dropping out, moving in with me while we were dating. We made plans for marriage a while ago, and everything fell into place according to plan. Things were going perfectly. She met my family. They loved her. Things were going great. Well, less than a month before we got married, we found out she was pregnant. No big deal. It happens. We were using condoms. But whatever, it happens. There could have been a few times where we just did the pull-out method instead. We went ahead with the marriage as planned. I am absolutely certain I am in love with this woman. I thought everything was going great. However, after the wedding, things weren't the same. I always felt there was a distance. Something strange in her behavior. Well, recently she opened up to me and confessed to me the truth. There was a chance the baby wasn't mine. She was crying and extremely apologetic, telling me she loved me. Apparently around the time she conceived, she had gone to a party with some of her friends and ended up having silly romance with some stranger. She didn't even know his name. She could barely remember what he looks like. She said she's regretted it ever since. I was shocked. I felt numb. I had no idea how to respond. I told her we need to do a paternity test. She agreed. She made me promise I'd stay with her if the baby was mine. I relented. She said it was the worst decision of her life, and she had regretted every day ever since, and she had only trusted me to open up to me because she loved me, and knew I loved her and would forgive her. I didn't know what I'd do if I found out the baby wasn't mine. Well, we did the procedure. We had to see a geneticist, explain our reasons. It wasn't cheap, but I had to know. It involved taking a sample from the placenta of the child. Well, it turns out I'm not the father. I can't believe it. My wife, the woman I loved, cheated on me and is pregnant with someone else's child. I don't know what to do. Part of me loves her, and knows she loves me, but the other part of me can't handle this. It is too late at this point for pregnancy cancellation. She's past the 20 weeks where it is allowed. I have no idea what would happen to her if I left her. She has no source of income. She has no family here, only a few friends. She's have to support herself, and a child on her own. I don't think I'd have it in me to keep supporting them. Part of me strongly wants a divorce, or an annulment, if that's possible. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, or if I should just stay in this marriage. I know she would suffer incredibly if I left her, personally, emotionally, and financially. But I also know I don't really have an obligation to this child that's not mine, or to her once we divorce. Should I stick with her, and try to make this mess work, or should I just bail out while I can? If I leave, her life will be ruined. Too long didn't read. My wife, whom I recently married, is pregnant with a child that is not mine after having cheated on me. I don't know if I can stay. I don't know if I have it in me to stay and try to make this work. She has no source of income, no nearby family. She will be left on her own if I leave her. I feel love for her, but at the same time anger at her betrayal. She told me she is incredibly remorseful and loves me, and hoped that I would understand enough to forgive her and stay. What should I do? I really don't know what I should do. Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out. Thanks. She waited past the legal pregnancy cancellation period to tell you. Leave before you're the child's father figure in the court's eyes. Get out, dude. If she's that hard put, then send her back to her parents. You must leave the marriage for your own sanity. Yes, it was a mistake, but it was her mistake. She has to pay for it, not you. If she did love you, she would not be having silly romance with a stranger 1 month before your marriage. And she didn't even come clean at that point, but lied to you about the baby being 100% yours this entire time. I would tell you to leave this woman, cause it may well be impossible for you to be sane with a living symbol of your wife infidelity. Would you not have left her if she told you about the cheating before the marriage? I am 46 male, daughter-in-law, 23 female. Kissed me yesterday. I told my wife, 40 to female, about it and she is blaming it on me. Hello, I am David, a 46-year-old man who is in some pretty big poop right now. Last night, I was consoling my daughter-in-law as she had just had a pretty big fight with my son, and I was explaining to her how this is natural, and how my son has a pretty uptight temperament, and so she know he gets like this often but then recovers and feels better. Alexander was crying and crying, and I was just sitting on the couch listening to her, but not touching her in any way apart from the occasional hug she'd ask for. I thought everything was going fine. I hadn't ever comforted her like this before, but I figured she didn't have anyone else to go to as my wife was working. Well, out of the blue, she kissed me. It was a small, Quick peck on the lips, but I was just dumbfounded. I didn't even know what was happening. I literally had to ask myself again and again if that just really happened. I didn't know what to say, and thankfully she immediately stood up and left the house. Not a goodbye or anything. She kissed me and left the house in under 30 seconds. I'm not sure if this was her intention from the beginning, or if it was something she thought was right to do at that very moment. I don't know. I figured I should tell my wife ASAP before she found out any other way. Her shift ends at 6 a.m., so I set an alarm for 5:30 and waited for her. As soon as she walked through the door, I Saturday her down and explained the situation. Well, all blame was put onto me, and she is not changing her mind. She is insisting I must have led her on in some way, and even though I've told her the entire true story, she is convinced I kiss her back and we've done more than I'm letting my wife believe. Let's just say, neither of us got any more sleep this morning and she is still angry at me. I'm appalled she doesn't believe a word I'm saying. I wish I'd had recorded the event just so I could prove my innocence. My wife is planning on calling our daughter-in-law and having her come over to explain the situation and her intentions. Rip to me until she gets here. I'm asking now, what do I do? I know there's a possibility she still won't believe us, despite whatever Alexandra or I will say. How do I move on from something I never even did? Right now, my wife is not speaking to me at all, and when she does speak, she is cold and distant. She really believes me to be a liar and a cheater. Too long didn't read. Daughter-in-law kissed me last night when I was comforting her after she'd had a fight with my son. I told my wife, who doesn't believe me when I say I didn't kiss her back and did not initiate it. You did nothing wrong. In fact, you did everything right, and your wife is being ridiculous. Whatever you do, don't apologize and don't back down. Stand your ground here. You are not on trial. If she really believes you to be a liar and a cheater just because of this one situation and flat out refuses to listen to you, then maybe it's time to reconsider your marriage. This isn't how it's supposed to work at all. Me, 30 for male. With my wife, 30 for female. 11 years, should I tell her that I got an email from the woman I cheated with? 26 female. To start off, we have 3 daughters, who I love tremendously along with my wife. 7 maybe 8 months ago, I had an affair. It was the stupidest thing I have ever done in my life. My wife chose to forgive me and work on our marriage. I have been trying like hell to fix everything. Things have been going good. My wife doesn't seem so on edge anymore and looks happy. I know I still have a long way to go on earning her trust back, but I'm still working on it. I was coming home from work last night and was checking my emails when I saw her name. I haven't opened it and don't know if I should. I also don't know if I should tell my wife or delete it. It seems like something small, but what if I tell her and it puts us right back at square one? Should I tell her or delete it? Too long didn't read. I got an email from the woman I cheated with. I don't know if I should tell my wife or not. Yes, tell her. Say you haven't opened it and you're down to read it together and you'll ignore or respond however she sees fit. Transparency is key to trust building.